There's always something they're going to face out there on the ocean, and it's how you portray that danger, not just play the footage raw, but to take you into the mind of the captain and what they're facing.
"20 to 30% of all fish that's on the market was caught illegally. You all are the tip of the spear, day in and day out."
As a whole, across all the oceans, there have been more illegal fishing. So we started with a scene where the Northwestern and the Time Bandit spotted what was possibly an illegal fisherman.
Hey, John, something sneaky about that guy. They're still north of us, aren't they?
Can't see him on the AIS, but I have him on radar. He's right there.
You got any empty drums over there?
I got a few. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking of sending a message.
Their reaction to it was so dynamic that we had to start there. So that's a strategy, starting in the future at the biggest moment and then winding back and how did we get here?
They really think someone hauled their gear?
I just hate starting off a season like that and we're already paranoid. You know, I mean, if that's going to happen to them, is it going to happen to us?
What makes Deadliest Catch special is that the camera person is sitting there with the captain all day for weeks on end, and they are just talking to the camera. So we try to give you a sense of the danger and that threat that's constantly going through their head. You can't have tension without character and knowing who you're talking to and who you're following and what they hope to achieve.
I've had a few close calls, very similar, and it's been a while, but that feeling comes back immediately, just like it was yesterday. It's a bad feeling.
So the wheelhouse is a critical spot because we have a captain that has to be in that chair and has to know everything that's going on. So basically, he becomes our interviews. We want that to look great all the time. And so we do get to set up some lighting in there. Half, if not more, of the show is at night, but we want that to be a dark space. So we let plenty of the frame just go black and we just have a touch of fill and then the hair light gives them a shape. The crab boats aren't designed for big crews. They're working boats. They're mostly deck space to hold a bunch of pots. And so we don't have room for a sound guy or a second shift. We have room for 2 people. And one of them sometimes is sleeping in a cabinet on some of the boats. They actually have more to do than the fishermen because you're out in the same conditions, concentrating maybe more because you have to think about making a nice picture. And then you got to come back. You got to get notes down. You have to take care of your gear. We'll get seasoned hardcore camera ops. They just don't make it. On the deck, we have our deck shooter, and their job is be out on deck all the time. One of the really important things is the style of the show. We have 7 different boats, and we have to keep a consistent look. So we have to spend a solid week with all the shooters going over how to tell the story and what we want it to look like. Here's how we cover this. You get this shot, you get this shot, then you better get your big wide from up over here, but you better have a low angle shot over here. And then you need these 3 shots and you need your close-ups from here. And that's just your basic package right there to cover a story. I've been working on this show since season 7, and every year there's a load more shots that people find and that we start to incorporate in to just see things a different way.
We try to make sure that we honor the work and the hours they put in out there and putting themselves through danger and physical exhaustion to get these beautiful shots. And we don't take that lightly in post. We are an ensemble show where we're jumping around, and we try to pace it inherently just like a scripted series where you have 3-4 stories at a time in varying levels of importance and intensity. And you want to leave it in a place where you're leaving questions and people want to come back and find out what happens to the captains and the crew. That's probably one of the most fun parts of editing. Dave Reichert and the team of cinematographers have given us all kinds of beautiful and interesting shots to choose from, to pause and let the audience enjoy the beauty of something for a moment before switching over to the next story.
We got to protect our water.
130 miles northeast.
That's a time to definitely showcase the world. We tend to be locked in the point of view of the skippers, and we spend a lot of the time in the wheelhouse, and we spend a lot of the time in their heads. And sometimes that can get claustrophobic. So the beauty of being able to take a breather and go out to the wide shot or the amazing time lapses and take in the entire Bering Sea or take in a sunset is definitely a part of the pacing and the storytelling of Deadliest Catch.